Hey guys, Chris here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to create your very own Pokeball using Fusion 360. If you stick around to the end, you'll have a really cool Pokeball that you can 3D print and put on your shelves, but if you stick around for the next video, you'll also see how you can create a twist locking mechanism to lock your top and bottom halves together so that way you can assemble it without needing any glue. So let's hop into Fusion 360 and get to it. Alright, so with a new project open, what you guys are going to want to do is start by saving it and naming your project. So we'll call this Pokeball Tutorial. In this new project, we're going to create under the Solid tab a new sphere. So if I click Sphere, I'm going to click this axis right over here to create the sphere through. I'm going to hit the center point, and I'm going to create a sphere with a diameter of 70 millimeters, and we're going to hit OK. From here now, a Pokeball, right, has two different halves, so we have to split this sphere down the middle to create a top and a bottom. So I am going to show our origin again. I'm going to modify, split body, click the sphere, and select my splitting tools, which is going to be the axis, or rather the origin that we created the sphere on. I'm then going to split that sphere in the middle and hit OK, hide my origin, show my bodies, and you'll see I have a top and a bottom. I'm then going to remove my top, so I'm going to hit this, we'll actually find it in the browser over here, and remove it. And now I have just the bottom. And the reason we did that is because we're going to do all of our work on one piece, and then we're going to mirror it, making a copy of it, so that way we only have to do the work once. So from here, we're going to look at this face, and we're going to click E, Extrude, and we're actually going to remove minus 2.25 millimeters of material from our sphere, or half sphere. And the reason is we're going to be creating a center ring that goes in between both halves, and we need to make space for it. So next, we're then going to click our outer edge over here. We're going to hit Modify, Chamfer, and we're going to give this a nice chamfered edge of 1 millimeter, so a nice smooth edge here. We're then going to click this new face, and we're going to extrude this by clicking E on our keyboard, and we're going to extrude this out 4.5 millimeters. And we're going to make sure we don't join this, but we create a brand new body. If we hit join, these two pieces will merge together, and we don't want that. So by hitting new body, we'll now have a separate centerpiece. So let's rename these. I'm going to rename this to bottom. I'm going to rename this to center. Now, I'm going to hide the bottom, and we're going to click by using Shift. So Shift click to hold down the selection on two pieces. And then we're going to hit Modify, Chamfer, and select 1 millimeter. Let's make it smaller, 0.5 millimeters. And we now have a chamfer going all the way around our center ring. So it looks a little bit nicer. Now, with our bottom and our middle piece visible, we now have to create our button. So I'm going to hit Show Origin, and I'm going to construct a new offset plane off of this face right here, or this plane right here. So I'm then going to drag this offset out. We'll drag it out to, we'll go 27 millimeters and hit OK. And then I'm going to create a brand new sketch on this plane, and I'm going to hide now the bottom and the center. I'm going to create a circle now by clicking up here, or by clicking C on my keyboard, and we're going to create a center diameter circle. Our first circle is going to be 23 millimeters. Our next circle is going to start in the center as well and go out to 14. And then lastly, another circle that's going to go out to 9. And this is going to be our button and button ring. So once done, we'll hit Finish Sketch. We'll then go to our sketches and rename this sketch to be button and button ring, so that way we're not confused later if we have to come back and edit this. And then we're going to extrude these center pieces here by holding down Shift and left click. So Shift click, and E on our keyboard. We're going to bring this out. We'll go let's say negative 7.5 millimeters. We're then going to show our sketch again, and we're going to click this outer ring this time, and we're going to hit E, and instead of distance, we're going to select to object and bring this out to match this distance, except this time we're going to hit new body and not join. That's going to be our outer ring. This is going to be our inner button. Then lastly, we have to go to the back and click this innermost ring here, click E on our keyboard, and we're going to extrude this out to be, we'll say, yeah, -10 works. So -10, and we want to make sure that we hit again. We'll do join this time, but when we join, let's make sure we actually hide the outer ring and hit OK. If we have the outer ring visible, it might join them all together into one solid piece. We don't want that. So this is what our button and button ring are going to look like. Let's make this look a little bit nicer. So with our outer ring, let's actually rename these, right? So we don't get confused. So we'll rename this to button ring. And then we'll rename this to button. And with our button ring, we're going to click the outside edge. We're going to hit modify chamfer and give it a chamfer of 1. We're then going to go to the outer edge here, or the one facing outside, click it, modify chamfer. This time we're going to give it a distance and angle. Last time we just gave it a distance. So yours might have been set to equal distant, where you just give it a chamfer of 1. But this time we're going to be clicking distance and angle. And we're going to be setting the angle to 70 degrees. And let's set the edge to 1.5. And we're going to hit OK. Then let's take a look here. I don't want this flat portion, so I'm going to delete that because I want the chamfer to come all the way up to the edge. But if we look to the side, we'll see that now my button is a little bit recessed. So I'm going to click this face here, click E, and I'm going to pull it out. Let's pull it out like 0.5 millimeters, and we're going to make sure that when we join, we hide the button ring and then hit join. So that way we're just joining these pieces and not joining the button to the button ring. And I think that looks pretty good. Now we need to make sure we have some tolerance. So we're going to have to create some space in between these pieces. But we're going to do that after we create the space for these pieces to fit into the center and the bottom. So what we're going to do, I actually don't like the way that this is sitting. So we're going to click the move key up here, or the move operation. And we're going to shift click both the button and button ring. And we're going to drag this back. And we're going to go to, let's go to right over here, -1.5, because I want the edge of this center to line up with the edge of the button. So we're going to go there and hit OK. And you know what? That we could probably, I want these two edges to touch. So let's, on our timeline, right click and hit edit feature. And then instead of moving now 1.5, let's change this now to, let's see. I'm going to go in the X direction. We'll say, where does 1 bring us? Oh, not the X direction. Let's try Y. Cool. All right. So I'm going to go let's try -0.1. Let's try -0.09. 0.9. Let's try 0.8. 7. 6. Let's go 7. All right, that looks pretty solid. So these are a little bit more in line now. Cool. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to hit combine, and I want to make sure I have cut and keep tools selected. And I'm going to select my center and shift click my button and button ring, then hit OK. I'm then going to hit the combine tool again, clicking the bottom piece and shift clicking the button and the button ring, and then hitting OK. If I hide my bottom, my button, and my button ring, I'm left with my center and 2 additional pieces that were created off of this extrude, or off of this cut. So I'm going to click this piece and I want this deleted. So I'll actually have to select it in here in the browser, and I'm going to right click and hit remove. I'm going to find this guy over here, which is now renamed to center, and remove. And now I've got center 1. So I'm going to right click, rename, and change that back to center. So when we cut pieces, it took one of the little pieces and kept that as the original center and left this as, as a result of the cut. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to shift click both of these edges and hit delete to square this off. I'm then going to shift click both of these pieces and hit delete. And now we need to create room for our button and button ring to fit in. So I'm going to go shift click, shift click, shift click, hit Q for our offset face tool. And I'm going to offset this -0.1 to give space for our button and button ring to slide in. All right, cool. I'm then going to go to my bottom, and over here, I'm going to click this edge here and hit delete. I'm then going to click this face here, hit E, and I'm going to extrude this all the way out, cutting out space for my button and button ring. I'm going to shift click, hit Q, and I'm going to do -0.1 to give this clearance. And then I'm going to click this edge here, hit modify, chamfer, and give this a nice chamfer of 1. So now we have a nice edge going all the way around. With my button ring now, I'm going to expose this, and I'm going to click this inner piece here and hit Q, -0.1 to let space for that button to slide in. With all of this put in place, I can now create a mirror of my bottom piece. So I'm going to hide my center, my button ring, and my button, and my bottom. I'm actually going to bring the center back, and I'm going to create now a midplane between my top and bottom. This midplane now is the perfect center to flip my bottom and my bottom over to create a mirror. So I'll hide the center piece, expose the bottom, and now we're going to create a mirror of my bottom. I'm going to select the bottom, I'm going to select my mirror plane, and I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to hide my construction, hide my origin, and show the rest of my pieces. And now here we have a perfect Pokeball. Now, I'm going to also color this. So if I hit A, I'm going to bring up my appearances tool. And then here, I'm going to look for matte, M-A-T-T-E. And I'm going to bring in my colors. So I'm going to bring in white, I'm going to bring in red, and I'm going to bring in black. That's not black, so let's find black here. So black is right here. All right, with that, we now have our finished Pokeball. Now, with that, if you were to 3D print this and put it all together, it's going to require glue. But in another video, we're going to take the same Pokeball that we created, and I'm going to show you guys how to create a twist locking mechanism to lock both the top and bottom together, so that way you can print this and assemble it without needing glue. Now, you guys also have the option here, if you want, to cut off this bottom, so that way you can have it sit on your shelf. So let me show you how to do that. So if we let's hide the top, which we're gonna have to rename here, rename to top. If we hide the top, the center, the button, and the button ring, and we create a brand new construction plane, let's offset that plane from the top of the Pokeball bottom, and let's bring this down to, let's say let's go to 30. I can then modify and split the body of the Pokeball. Make sure we show our construction planes here on the left side, and we can select that new plane that we created as our splitting plane and hit OK. So now if I hide these construction planes and hide this new split piece, I can now store my created Pokeball flat, let's hide this again, flat on a shelf without needing any stands. So that's how you guys can create a Pokeball in Fusion 360. If you stick around for the next video, again, I'm going to show you guys how to create a twist locking mechanism to put these two pieces together, so that way you guys won't need any glue. Thanks for watching.